go back to something you brought up earlier, Coach Chuck. So in the first five, we call them the monologues. Chuck was instrumental in my life, right? He was one of the people who was able to come in and see through whatever facade I had and talk like he saw me.
Yes.
And you also had that with him. So can you go back and describe your relationship with Chuck a little bit?
I always felt like that Chuck, that he and I had a connection, that he understood me, and that the way it was presented, the way I interpreted it, and hearing other people have experienced the same thing, is that he and I were similar. That while he didn't have Asperger's per se, he had issues that communicating, and that there was a special connection there. And, having seen, I talked to you and talked to, I know a lot of people from the common groups, that most of them had the same kind of sense. I think part of that's that Chuck was a really good mirror. It's one of those sales techniques where we match the other person. But I also think that Chuck was emotionally honest and connected. And I'm not sure, um, you know, he brought us into the Life and Air years ago. We've been in Life and Air and then Leadership Boardroom at least 8 years. I lose track of time. As you get older, time perspective changes, and COVID did a really number on it. So I've got things that my wife will say, "Oh yeah, that happened 3 months ago," and I was like, "That was 3 years ago." It's like, no, it wasn't. It was 3 months ago. So I'm a little off
Yeah.
on the time scales, and so there's been this long-term connection with Chuck, and that's the kind of thing that I think that I try to bring to anybody that I coach, is to find out who they are, what they're what they're about, and help people where they are. I know where they want to be, because that's the first thing, is to create a vision statement. As far as the coaching, that's literally the first assignment. Then once they have the vision statement, I can see where they want to go, and then we start talking about where they are. And so I know one endpoint and I know the other endpoint. How do we get from point A to point B? And it's amazing when you actually write a vision statement, how quickly that vision statement occurs. And I mean, having been in these types of events, the Leadership Boardroom specifically, that with a good vision statement, I know a number of people that were like, "Oh no, I know exactly what my vision statement is. It's right here. It's right here." But they're not changing. And then when they finally say, "Okay, fine, you've bugged me enough. I'll write the vision statement down and get it in paper, and, put it in the right format and all that." All of a sudden, 6 months later, they're like different people, because they've organized their lives in a way that they're moving forward. I've seen people go. One of the one of the people in the Life and Air side of things had $6 million worth of debt, and in 3 years had $6 million sitting in the bank. Yeah, I mean, it's like, whoa. I mean, they did some pretty massive changes. So, they were, yeah. They took massive action, and so, but being part of a mastermind, being part of coaching, I think all successful people that are of any kind of personal success. I mean, there's some business success where people don't do it. They all have a coach.